Excited to have you all with us today. We have a full slate today. We're gonna welcome some new partners. We're gonna hear a great partner success story. We're gonna have work group updates, and ultimately we're gonna have a conversation with our superintendent, Dr. Brennen Asplen, and his team. So I am looking forward to a very rich and exciting meeting. I ask that as these discussions go forward, just keep popping things in the chat. David will kind of direct us on all those questions, and we'll get those going out. For those who received my agenda early, there will be a couple deviations. We're trying to accommodate a few schedules as we go through here, but we will flex through this, and let's have a great meeting. All right. So with that said, I don't know if I see them, so I'm just going to ask them, say a quick hello if they are there. It's we have visiting us a guest, Melanie Tabbert and Andrea Medellin from Okeechobee County. Are you here? All right, not seeing them. Okay, we'll catch them on the other side there. All right. Have a couple new people, new into their roles and new into the organization since the last time my colleague, Bianca Harris, has joined the Education Foundation of Sarasota County as Chief Programming Officer. And I think most of you have probably seen her because she has been a whirlwind and in and out of offices. So we're glad to have her. And we also, in the Boys and Girls Club, Ellie Mobley has joined them. So welcome to you both. And as far as new organizations, new partners for PLANit Sarasota, we have the Sarasota Ballet, the next generation. Sarah Robinson was unable to make this meeting, so we will pick her up on the next one. We'll hear from her. And then I also have, though, from the Lean On Me project, Amy Weinberger. And I'm just going to ask Amy if she'd take a couple minutes just to introduce what the Lean On Me project is.
Sure. Hi. First of all, what an honor to see so many people I know and new faces. This is just exceptional. So thank you, Thomas, for bringing us to the table. We appreciate it. The Lean On Me project, real quickly, what we do is we work on healing education by bridging a pathway for academics and mental health wellness to fit together by creating relationships. And our goal is to enhance the wellness of the education community. And we do this at different schools with the blessings, of course, of our superintendent. So thank you. How do we do it? We create and build relationships and trust relationships with our principals, assistant principals, our school counselors, teachers, staff, parents, and our external stakeholders. And our formula is we ask, and our schools answer. We make a plan, we implement, and we keep conversing, we keep collaborating, we keep creating. And our signature initiatives are the Parent Cafe, which are conversations about how to navigate education at the various schools in the ESE space and how to get to yes, right? And then our second one is the Student Lunch Cafe, where we do mentoring and academic tutoring at a variety of schools. And the Teacher Cafe is the supportive conversations about wellness in the education field at specific schools. And then we have pop-up initiatives, and that can be massages like at Tatum Ridge this Friday on In-Service Day, or headshots like at Lakeview coming up for professionalism, or breakfasts and lunches, really good ones for in-service days. We deliver flowers, we send books, we give weighted blankets, we do beautification. So whatever the schools want and need and think would help, we're there to help. So thank you again.
Thank you, Amy. All right, we also have Funducation, Neirdre Thompson Pemberton. Neirdre.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. What a shindig. Look at all these beautiful faces from all these different organizations. As Thomas said, my name is Neirdre Thompson Pemberton, and I am the founder and executive director of Funducation, Inc. And we partner with communities to expose, engage, and inspire our kids in STEAM education in the hopes that our kids will go into those fields. Some of you might be more familiar with STEM, but we've added the A for arts because we also want our kids to be able to communicate all the great ideas they come up with. And one of my great mentors always said, nobody wants an ugly toaster. You want it to toast that bread, but it's got to match that kitchen motif as well. So we always want to include the arts. The way that we do it is by partnering with organizations that serve the kids that we would like to reach. We want to reach all our kids, but we do make a concentrated effort for our underserved, our women, Black, Latino, to make sure that we have equal opportunities to access these wonderful fields and professions.
Thank you, Nirdra. Appreciate that. All right. So again, a welcome to the Lean On Me Project, Amy, and welcome to Fungication with Nirdra. And we'll have Sarasota Ballet at the next one. We also have, since the last time, the Economic Development Council of Sarasota. Under change here, we have Erin Silk. Erin.
Hi, good afternoon, Thomas. Thank you so much for having me. A lot of friendly faces here on the screen that I know, but I look forward to getting to know the rest of you as we progress through this. But thank you for the introduction. My name is Erin Silk. I was newly promoted to the Vice President of Business Development Services at the Economic Development Corporation. Just to give you an idea of what I do day to day, we are a public-private partnership, and we are tasked with diversifying the economy of Sarasota County. What does that mean? As an economy, Sarasota County is very reliant on tourism, hospitality, retail, construction, all very important parts of our economy. But the EDC works in diversifying industries, working to bring them here. And so these are industries that can be anywhere in the world, but would choose to be in Sarasota County, creating good jobs for Sarasota County residents. Those are manufacturers, corporate headquarters, technology company, life sciences. So we're working with companies as they're looking to come here, and also as our local companies within these industries are doing expansions. We are a concierge through that process for them, make it easy for them to do that here in Sarasota County. The EDC, I'm happy to share with you guys, has experienced significant growth in the number of businesses that are requesting relocation and expansion assistance. The number of our incoming projects has more than doubled since this time in 2019. So very busy at the EDC. I'm proud to say that the Business Journals recently ranked the 30 metros with the strongest job growth during COVID-19 recovery. And our Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton MSA ranked number 5 in the nation for job growth during the COVID recovery. So thank you again for having me. Look forward to participating.
Thank you, Erin. Good to have you. All right. So we're going to have two quick work group updates. Jennifer Johnston and James have other meetings to be at. So I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer Johnston for career exploration.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you all. I'm Jennifer Johnston with Gulf Coast Community Foundation. And one exciting thing about the Career Explorations Work Group is that we are persevering, even though we can't bring our employers directly into schools to give students that hands-on experience of workforce right in their school. We are finding ways to do it virtually. So just to give an example, October is Manufacturing Month. So we were working with Northport High School on how could we bring PGT, a local employer that has manufacturing opportunities, into the school. So we did it via Zoom through a lunch and learn. So hats off to Jenna Teal, who signed up over 30 students to come to a lunch and learn at the Student Success Center. And our goal was to provide an immediate opportunity. So we look for students who may not have a plan for post-graduation, invite them to come learn about a local opportunity. They got to see the robotic arm of the Suncoast Technical College. They got to hear directly from STC about opportunities to enroll right away in furthering their manufacturing education. And then they got to meet an employer, PGT, and learn about apprenticeships for high school students that can happen right now, as well as lots of different career opportunities at PGT. So we had a video as well for students to see different graduates in our region who are employed locally with manufacturers. And of course, these are opportunities they can see afterward as well, the videos and the Zoom sessions. So exciting to bring together our schools, our post-secondary educators, our local employers to provide students with an experiential opportunity to learn about the world of work in their own backyard. So we continue to look for ways to replicate that at other schools, and hopefully soon we'll be back in person and they can meet the employers firsthand. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate that. All right. Moving from that, from career explorations to having a plan, and this group is under transition as the school district actually starts to take up this new goal. So very, very good thing in the long run. So James, can you give us an update?
Yeah, you just stole a little bit of my thunder, Thomas, but
Sorry.
hey, everybody. Yeah, my update is very brief. Cheryl Haller, college career advisor at Sarasota High School, myself have been the work group leaders for having a plan. We last met a few months ago, and in the past, you know, this work group has created scope and sequence for 9th grade activities with the help of Dr. Susan Burke. Michelle Anderson at Sarasota High School selected classes and scheduled the scope of sequence. We were looking to Sarasota High School using Naviance and kind of piloting what this was going to be looking like, but in a really good way, you know, more recently with the district having a committee put together and looking at this same thing and looking at commonalities beyond Sarasota High School that would still provide flexibility to suit the individual school's needs and staffing and structure. You know, we're looking for something a little bit more district-wide. And Catherine Kokozoa has been kind of taking point, relying on her. She's participating with the district as it relates to that committee. So that's my update. It's good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Greatly appreciated.
You're welcome.
All right. So anybody has any questions, just please put them in the chat. And again, David will usher them back out. But right now, we're going to have a partner success story. This has been in the making for a few years. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kim Richmond, who's the director of the 26 West Entrepreneur Center at State College of Florida.
Awesome. All right. So, okay. So Thomas, thank you so much for that great introduction. I am thrilled to be here. I see a lot of familiar faces and some new faces, and I am the director of the Entrepreneurship Center here at 26 West at State College of Florida. I'm thrilled to be here because we literally just opened our doors to the public. As Thomas said, we have been years in the making. About 3.5 years ago, our Executive Vice President and Provost, Dr. Todd Fritsch, authored a grant to renovate one of our buildings on campus. And the result is the 26 West Center. It is a spectacular building. It is a 40,000 square foot, 2-floor building that is home to our Entrepreneurship Center and our Coding Academy. So I wish you could all be here, but since you can't, I'm going to take you on a quick whirlwind tour of our 26 West Center so that you can see the richness of what this has to offer. What makes this building so unique is the fact that we not only serve our students here, but we serve the community. So I'm going to take you through our suite of 7 services that again serve our students, but most importantly serve the community as well. So let's take a quick look. Our first service is our Business Growth Lab and Incubator. So we actually rent office space here. So it's a co-working space that's available for rent on a monthly basis. We have 11 offices and 29 desks, but we call it a business growth lab because we provide more than that. We actually have mentoring, and this is really the center of the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Bradenton. And this idea that we will actually take people through and help them incubate their ideas is what makes this business growth lab so unique. In fact, I'm pleased to say we just rented our first office as well. So we're excited because we just opened our doors officially. The second in our suite of services is our student incubator. No surprise that we would have a student incubator here in 26 West because we do serve our students. So this is home to our SCF Entrepreneurship Club. And really what this is designed to do is create this culture of innovation before they even get out of school. And our students are working together here to launch, some of them launch their own businesses, others to just be around like-minded people, which creates this energy and great interaction with our entrepreneurs and residents. Our third in our suite of businesses is our Entrepreneurship Academy. This is where we offer non-credit bearing classes to people, whether they've been to college or not been to college, so that they can learn about how to launch their business. So for example, tonight we're launching our Entrepreneurship Essentials class. It's a 5-class course that takes you through the highlights of how to launch your business. So we've got a variety of other workshops and classes in the curriculum. And what's really nice is that our core classes actually have a pathway to our AS program. So should someone decide to do that. The next in our suite of services is really where we start to get really unique here is our personal branding lab. So we remember that we serve our students and we serve the community. So people can come to our personal branding lab, whether they're an entrepreneur and want to brush up on their presentation skills before they present to an investor, or a career changer that hasn't done a resume in 10 years, or one of our students that really doesn't know what they want their path to be. So they'll be able to meet with people like a career Sherpa, a resume architect, a salary negotiating coach. So a variety of different services, workshops. This is on track for a spring launch, but this personal branding lab, the fact that we can not only help people grow businesses, but we can help them develop themselves as well. And then we also have the Digital Collective. So the Digital Collective, we actually have a couple of elements to it. This is our student-staffed digital marketing agency. So again, this is on track for a spring launch where our students will actually provide digital marketing services to small businesses and nonprofits in the area for a fee, but less than market rates. So the idea here is all about experiential learning, that students can actually be involved and work with real live clients. Imagine that before you graduate from college, working with real live clients. We're leveraging our resources here at State College of Florida. And part of our Entrepreneurship Center includes a 2,000 square foot video production facility, which you can see on the right here. So this really all-encompassing digital marketing agency is a win for everyone. It's experiential learning for our students. It's helping small businesses and nonprofits, and ultimately increasing the economy for those around us. So I wanted to focus today on the Entrepreneurship Center, but as I mentioned, we also have a coding academy here in the 26 West Center as well. So I took you on a very, very quick tour, but what I want to do is invite everybody, for any of you that hasn't been here, I really want to personally invite you to come. Please reach out to me. We're happy to give you a tour. I guarantee you will not only be wowed by it, but I know that you'll be inspired to share some ideas and help us be even more successful in serving our community and our students.
Thank you. Tremendous, and congratulations on getting the center open and off the ground. I had the privilege and the pleasure of being there for that. It was very, very impressive. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. All right. We've been trying to get this next guest for a while. Each time we were on the slate, it seemed like something would be on the news the night before, and that would be it. We'd lose him. But we're so excited to have our superintendent, Dr. Asplen. He's come with his team, and so we're looking forward to hearing a kind of a look back, a little reflection, also a look forward, and then really want to invite everybody, all the partners, while we have this great access to a question and answer with them. So, Dr. Asplen, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Thomas. It's really great to see everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Really do appreciate it. And also, I want to thank everyone for their support of the school system and the students and the families and teachers and our administrators. Thank you for all of your support moving our school district ahead, especially in this rough time. And, you know, as far as I know, we're not on TV tonight, but, you know, that could change at any moment. It seems like lately. So I wanted to introduce a couple of people. First of all, here in the room with me, we have Mitzi Corcoran. You know, she's our Chief Financial Officer. Jody Dumas is our Chief Operating Officer. And Chris Renoff is our Chief Academic Officer in here. I believe I also saw Dr. Moore, who's our Director of Equity and Innovation, and Craig Maniglia, he is our Director of Communications. I think Steve Cantis, Executive Director of Secondary Ed's on here as well. And I hope I didn't miss anyone, but try to get as many people on board as possible in case there's some questions, and we can ask them in a deep fashion if we need to. So again, thank you all very much for all of your support this year and last year too. I know, you know, when I came on board, it was, I guess, a year and 3 months ago. And we had just come off, Sarasota County Schools had just come off the spring of 2020, in which the students were at home, learning from home, totally virtual. And then we moved into last year, where, as you know, we had something called concurrent teaching, where we had students in class and students online at the same time. And our teachers just did a magnificent job all year long, delivering their instruction in that fashion. It was new to all of us. Our IT department really helped us out quite a bit. And we just appreciate all the support that everyone gave to us last year. So then this year, you know, we go into summer, and, you know, we're looking at a little bit of the COVID slide, where, you know, our students were a little bit behind based on everything that had happened. And we had a great summer school. And then we were all on board to just have masks as being optional. And all of a sudden, the spike happened, and then we went mandatory mask, and all the logistics that go along with that, and quarantining. You know, hats off to all of our folks and to you for helping us out with that, but especially Jody and his department, who really worked hard with all the quarantining and contact tracing, and also the health department working with us on that. Everybody did a fantastic job, but it's still, you know, starting this school year, we were so hopeful, and then it really took the air out of our sails, or the wind out of our sails yet again. But it seems like this week we went back to optional masks, and yeah, knock on wood there. And we're back to talking more about instruction and less about all the issues and logistics having to do with COVID. So we are really, really excited about our strategic plan that we have created. We have a draft at this point. And again, we want to thank all of you for giving us your input at town hall meetings and through email and other discussions, so that we can move forward with our strategic plan. And we hope that you'll continue to support our plan. I just wanted to let you know what the 5 goals are of our strategic plan moving forward this year. And then I'll allow some of our folks to maybe talk about their particular goal a little bit more, so that you can understand that and be able to ask questions. But we have 5 goals. One is an academic goal. Another is our student services goal. Let me back up. On the academic goal, you know, we're looking at pre-K. We've talked about, you probably heard me talk about this before. We're looking at pre-K and expanding our pre-K area. We're looking at all of our students and trying to help them improve with their learning gains. And then with our students, as they leave us and move on in their life, we want to make sure they have some sort of plan, whether that's college, military, or the work environment. And so we're really working on all of those areas. In student services, we're really working with the mental health piece and the character education piece. We have a human resources goal. That's goal number 3, hiring, retention, customer service, helping our existing employees, recognition, those types of things. Also, goal number 4 has to do with communication. and making sure that our parents and our community and our foundation, that we communicate properly with them and work together to help our students and our parents. And then in operations, obviously in efficient, effective operations, and then being good stewards of our money. So that would be goal number 5. So with that said, I am going to turn it over to a few different folks to talk a little bit about their particular goal, and then we'll go from there. So we'll start off with academic services, our Chief Academic Officer, Chris Renoff.
So appreciate everybody. Again, thanks for the opportunity to be with you today. As Dr. Asplen said, I want to say the last 18 to 24 months, it has been a wild ride and it's been exciting and it just continues to be exciting. So, coming off, the summer, again, where we had a real hearty summer program trying to, again, boost and give the kids what they need, given that we were in a concurrent or remote situation the year before, but we kind of knew coming off of that there was going to be a COVID impact. And so really we're deep in from day one, thanks to our Jumpstart efforts, working with our finance department, in the Department of Education, our teachers and our school leaders, really their personalized efforts to provide personalized intervention to our kids, addressing recovery, but acceleration as well. I don't know how many of you know, we have a brand new curriculum, a brand new English language arts curriculum, K through 12. So that is a hearty and hefty lift, but it is the best materials and resources that are aligned to the new best standards. So that's new as well. So a lot of quality or high quality professional learning happening for our staff. So never a dull moment there. And again, as Dr. Asplen said, the strategic plan, basically it's the perfect storm in a good way. It allows us to take the timing of all of this, mesh it together, really laser focus, put everything together on what matters most and what we know works for our students and our families. And so the only thing I wanted to mention in goal 1 is really about personalizing and accelerating learning for all students. And it starts with enhancing and enriching and expanding our early learning in pre-K, as Dr. Asplen said. We're going to really look to make sure that all of our students get just the highest of quality of instruction across the levels, elementary, middle, high, and beyond. And at tier 1 and then personalized tier 2 and tier 3 levels if they need that additional support or intervention. We're going to really work as smart as we possibly can. And for those of you that know the term PLC, professional learning communities, that is the way to do it. We have to work together, put our heads together, and just work as smart as we possibly can, because we've got amazing folks, as you all know, in our classrooms, and we just need to make sure that our teachers have the supports they need to go ahead and reach those kids wherever they're at. And that's what we want to make sure that we're doing. Arts and experiential learning. Glad to hear that at SCF. I took a picture of the slides when you were presenting, because I can tell you right now, the arts and experiential learning, you can't have high quality learning without embedding that in the curriculum as well. So we're really looking forward to that partnership. And last but not least, it's equipping all of our students for life readiness. It's college, it's career, and it's life and beyond. And so it starts in the elementary grades. And so we want to make sure that we have some continuity and consistency across the board in all of our schools, elementary, middle, and high and beyond. And so I'm really, really excited, just glad to be part of it.
All right, so goal number 5 is our operations department. So Jody, why don't you go ahead and start us off with?
Sure. So Mitzi and I have tag teamed on goal number 5. And so that really focuses on operation across the district. And so there are a couple of really cool things, I think, embedded into this piece of the strategic plan. One is something we've never done in the district before, but a focus on sustainability. And so that we're really excited about, everything from purchasing electric school buses to gardens around all of our campuses, enhancing our ag program over at McIntosh Middle School, partnering with Sarasota High to bring curriculum onto that campus too. So it's for everything we do in the district. We want to have kind of a sustainability focus and really make sure we are doing everything to make good financial decisions, but at the same time, make good decisions for our planet too. And we think those kind of go together. So we're excited about that. And then Mitzi, I don't know if you want to talk about our customer service piece that we have in there.
So yeah, I think, we're always focused on the instructional side, but we have to make sure that everyone understands that we are all customers of each other as well as our community. So we want to try to increase the focus on customer service overall and actually develop career paths for our operational employees so that they have an opportunity to grow within the district themselves. I think a lot of them are not even sure where they should go or how they should do that. So, we're going to try to put a little focus on that too, to make sure that we're allowing our staff we're allowing us to grow our own. And then, of course, the financial component, we've been fortunate enough to receive a large amount of federal dollars to help us with the programs that Chris has mentioned from the COVID slide. And so just making sure we put those dollars to the best use moving forward.
And the other piece of all that is from the operations perspective, in each of the operations department, having the metrics in place that show how we're operating on a daily basis. So for example, cost per mile delivery in terms of transportation, cost per square foot maintenance in terms of our maintenance department and our custodial department. So our goals are always on our side of the house to make sure we minimize costs so that we can then provide those funds to the educational side of the house. So that's a big part also of our goal.
All right, thank you. And goal number 4 is communications. We have Craig Maniglia, who's our Director of Communications. Craig, do you want to say a couple of things about our communications goal?
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Asplen, and nice to meet many of you and see you again for some of you. As Dr. Asplen said, goal 4 is to collaborate and engage school communities to support the achievement of our students. And while communication traditionally weaves throughout the entire school district, here in Sarasota, we've decided that we want to make this it's a standalone goal as well, because communication is so important in the education of our students and informing our families and community partners. So the purpose of this goal is to provide excellent leadership and also to provide outreach to our families for student achievement in Sarasota County schools. But in addition, is to provide creative communications to support division-wide initiatives and to educate key audiences like many of you, increase awareness of some of the things we're doing, and to promote a positive perception as we roll up on a referendum. So a lot of this is happening concurrently as we speak, and it has a 5-year timeline going with it as well. We have 4 main strategies that we're working with, and one of them is to strengthen the brand through effective marketing and two-way district school-based communication. We're a big believer in two-way communication and not just telling you what we want you to hear. We really want to hear from the parents and from our communities about what's going on. So the two-way aspect is really important. In strategy 2, we want to support our families as partners in their children's education. And in order to do that, we've actually hired a parent engagement coordinator. He's new to the district, all the way from Boston. I think his first day was Monday. So he's gonna actually lead an entire strategy here to involve parents more at the school level. Each school has a parent liaison, and this individual here will guide that district message through these liaisons and meet with parents. And in that strategy, we're going to do something that's kind of new for us. We're going to have an actual parent sit on that committee and possibly a student to help see how this actually travels from what we're trying to say to the actual end user and to the actual person we're trying to help. So we think that that's going to be a big plus as that moves forward over the next several years. Third, we're going to bring our volunteers back in full force. I mean, just started the last couple of weeks, and they've been banging at the door to get back in, and boy, do we need them. So we've beefed up our community relations division down there, and we have some new personnel down there who are going to work with community foundations and organizations to help support our staff and students to move forward. So that also falls under communication and will be a full strategy for 4 years. And then internally, we've grown and grown and grown, and we've kind of outgrown our little infrastructure of how we actually communicate internally. So we're going to build stronger platforms over the next several years so we can effectively, timely get internal communications out to our staff and our frontline workers who desperately need to know what's going on and be able to look at intranet platforms and stuff to get information they need right away. So in a nutshell, that's where we are, and we're really excited about the strategic plan. We know we have the great leader, and we know with your support in the community that this is going to be a fantastic journey for us. So again, I'm Craig Maniglia. I'm here at the district, and any of you want to reach out to me for ideas you have, please feel free to let me know.
Thanks. Thank you, Craig. And just a couple other folks very quickly. Jody Dumas is going to talk to us for a second about human resources.
So another major goal, as Dr. Asplen mentioned, is human resources. We know as a district, we want to be an employer of choice for teachers as they're looking across the United States, really, to where do I want to teach, where do I want to live. And so in trying to attract the best employees that we possibly could across all of our district, we knew that we needed to look at human resources and the kind of restructure we're doing there. So we are redesigning our entire human resources department, really as a customer-focused department, to make sure we can retain, attract and retain the top professionals in education in this entire country. And so, at the end of the day, no matter what we're doing in classrooms, we know putting the best teacher in front of those kids is going to have the biggest impact to make sure we can push that achievement. And so that's our focus in HR. That comes with an entire reorganization of the department, how we look at human resources, from not just hiring people to looking at people as human capital throughout the district, and that everybody in the district plays a role in recruitment and retention of employees. It's not just this little Department of Human Resources, it's everybody talking about what it's like to work in Sarasota County Schools, promoting the culture as a place that everybody wants to work. And so that is a major push in our strategic plan this year, and one we're very, very excited about because it's going to touch all areas of the organization.
All right. Well, thank you, Jody. And then we have Dr. Moore. As you know, she is our Director of Equity and Innovation, and she's really responsible for the entire strategic plan, right, Dr. Moore? So, so she has that equity lens that we will use throughout our entire strategic plan and all of our goals. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Moore.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Asplen, an amazing cabinet team. Listen, I am so fortunate to work with these folks. They are truly amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a more hardworking group of people than, coming out of a school building and knowing how hard we work there, and then coming and seeing this group of people. They're magnificent. And yes, it sort of feels like I own that strategic plan. One of the great things about equity is that it is embedded throughout the strategic plan. We battle back and forth as a goal or a strategy, where it's really kind of like the foundational piece that's embedded throughout each and every one of the goals and each and every strategy within our strategic plan. And it is a powerful plan that when we complete and get it executed to its fullest with fidelity, we're going to see some major differences in our district. And from the equity lens, we want to make sure that we're looking at that achievement gap. We want to make sure that we're looking at our hiring practices and bringing in good, high quality folks, as Jody Dumas was stating, that match and look like the demographics of our school district and our school communities. And ensuring, as you heard Mitzi Corcoran talking about the fiduciary side, ensuring that we're good stewards of our monies and that the resources are going to those schools that need them, meeting the needs of all students. Which takes me all the way back to that instructional side and our support services side, where we want to make sure that all inequities are removed and our students are able to be able to become those incredibly talented students, that they're receiving everything that they need to be successful, as well as our staff. So, making sure that all barriers are removed, making sure that people have what they need to be successful, and really keeping us all, myself included, and the equity department, accountable for meeting the needs and ensuring that we are doing what we say we do and within our plan, and that all people have an opportunity for success. And it falls right in alignment with our district's vision, working together as one for the success of all. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Dr. Moore. Really appreciate that. And Thomas, that concludes our time. If there are any questions.
Absolutely. Big one for me, I'll just start it with, is how can we, you have all these great community leaders on this call right now, how can we be supportive of this strategic plan? How can we be supportive of these various initiatives. And so I'll let you guys all respond, and then I want all the partners, please ask what questions you have. We have blocked out a series of time for this. So how can we be supportive, Dr. Asplen?
That's a great question, Thomas. And you know, with having the 5 goals and looking at those goals to see where perhaps anyone would want to support our school district, that would be very helpful. You know, as far as the HR area, you know, making sure that everyone knows, if you hear of people who are interested in teaching for us or driving a bus or anything, please send them our direction. We have quite a few openings, and we're looking for really good people, so that would help us out a great deal. Also, in the area of operations, you know, we're trying to be as efficient and effective as possible throughout the entire school system. And I know Jody has done a great job with that, and so has Mitzi. And so, you know, if there are businesses out there who think that there might be a way that we can become more efficient or help us in those areas, we certainly are always all ears and would love to talk to businesses about that. And then also in our academic area, you know, as we have students who are going to be leaving us and going out into the world, and we want to partner with business leaders as much as possible, help our students to see, you know, whether they go to college or not, or military or wherever they go, you know, what is their end goal? And if their end goal is to have a certain career, we would certainly want our students to communicate with those business leaders so that they know what they're getting into. They know whether they would like that or not like that, and go into those areas when they move away from us. So I think all those areas would be very helpful. Again, continuing to support us with volunteers. Any kind of volunteerism that can happen will definitely help us a great deal as well. So I think those would be the largest areas. Anybody else have any?
That is.
Okay.
Yep. So Mr. Wilkins had a question, Thomas. I don't know if you want to come off mute and ask your question, Mr. Wilkins. So I'll go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So I put the question in the chat. Let me just read it so I don't screw it up.
Go ahead.
It has to do, so how's the district assisting social studies or civics teachers meet the social studies standards or civic standards and not run afoul of the ban on critical race theory?
Hey, Mr. Wilkins, that's a great question. So thank you so much. Appreciate you asking that. You know, the first thing that comes to mind, honestly, is collaboratively, hand in hand, really working and making sure that we're accessible to those teachers, because again, they want to do the right thing. They want to make sure that our kids are getting high quality instruction that's aligned to the standards. And so basically we're helping them preview the materials, look at our standards carefully, and then again, answering questions as they come up, one, as they're planning individually in their teams, and across the levels, because, and I can tell you right now, we actually had some real conversation with some of our teachers just this past week on different things that have come up, and kudos to our teachers, because they're very astute, as you know, and they are just kind of really looking at that curriculum to kind of make sure, how do we make sure that it's aligned, give our kids really high quality, critical instruction that they can have, you know, really meaningful discourse, but at the same time, stay out of the world of controversy, et cetera, where it's going to take the focus away from teaching and learning.
Yeah, at the same time, I know we always work on obviously critical thinking, especially in our secondary areas, using evidence to back up students, using evidence to back up their thoughts, and having that communication in class. You know, debate, Socratic learning, those types of issues as far as social studies is concerned, and the issues that are going on out there in the world right now. And, you know, what does that mean to you? How does that affect others? And having that debate, but having it in a very, I guess, peaceful way, respectful way, teaching our students to be able to do that and talk to one another as they listen to the information, back up what they're saying with facts and evidence, so that they can draw their conclusions and think critically. So that's really where we come from as far as those social studies areas are concerned. I love your picture, by the way, in the background there. Is that Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan? Yeah. In the same picture. How you know, that's a great picture.
I don't have any other
No,
questions in the
Asplen,
chat yet. Go ahead.
You had mentioned about the COVID slide, and I'm just wondering how impactful has the COVID slide been, and how have your efforts to remediate that, to resolve that, how is that going?
Yeah, so our overall FSA scores were down around 3% from 2019, 18, 19. That was the last time that we received FSA scores. So only going down 3% was actually very, very good. And we were still up in the top 3 or 4 districts in the state. But, you know, you look school to school and you drill down, there are many areas, reading and math especially, where our percentages have dropped quite a bit. And our students, you know, need some help in those areas. Math dropped more than reading did. When you look across the nation, it pretty much aligns with what has happened across the nation. But just looking in our district, I know we're working on those mathematics skills to accelerate those. And then in reading, we did hire some instructional facilitators, 16 of them for our elementary schools, who can help as an interventionist for our students and help our teachers as a coach and a data coach at each of those schools that we think are really going to help us as well. Because, you know, anytime you can have small group instruction, the smaller the group, the better when it comes to learning how to read for phonics, fluency, vocabulary. All of those are very important. So did you want to say anything?
Yes, the only other thing is just, you know, as I mentioned earlier, the Jumpstart initiative, we already were planning over the summer because we had kind of anticipated that COVID slide. We didn't have the data back at that point, but we just knew that it was going to affect our kiddos in lots of different areas, not just even in the academics, but socially and emotionally as well. We wanted to make sure that we put the wraparound supports for those kids that needed it and for their families as well. And so again, kudos, I'm going to say to many of the partners that are on, because again, they work with the school district to help support our kids and our families. And so again, it's a holistic perspective, but those Jumpstart initiatives being ready, and those are so different from elementary to middle to high. I mean, we're servicing kids before school, during school, after school, and on Saturdays as well, just providing additional recovery and intervention, but also some acceleration to scaffold to kind of get them where they're going to need to be.
But and also just to add to that as well, you know, in looking at resources, one of the things we really looked at, especially going into the summer or in the summer, when we were looking at allocating resources to different schools, instead of just saying, you know, every school is going to get another counselor, or every school is going to get another behavior specialists or whatever, you know, we really wanted to look at what the issues were at each individual school and be as equitable as possible and give them the resources they need, depending on the data that they had and the demographics and some of the other things that we looked at, to make sure that, you know, when we spend the money and we have those resources, that we're put them in the right place and not just having them there, whether they need to be there or not. So I thought that was very important. Our folks did a really, really good job with staffing this year, utilizing that method.
Great.
So I had one quick question that I know has come up in lots of places that I've been sort of in around the state, which is what's really happened to enrollment this year compared to, say, the 18-19 or even fall of 2019, you know, across the district and at different grade levels. What have you seen this year with enrollment compared to before COVID?
That's a great question. And I would say it's twofold. You know, last year we had around 70% of our students face-to-face, and there were obviously 30% who were at home online. This year, everybody's back face-to-face, so our classrooms are full. Also, everyone wants to move to Sarasota.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing, right? Everybody wants to come here. That's wonderful. We had over 1,300 new students enroll, and it's just been growing ever since. They enrolled in the summer. It's been growing ever since then. I don't know where we are now, maybe around 1,400 new students, whereas normally it would be kind of flat, the same number of students coming in as are graduating. But this year, even after graduation, we still had another 1,400 students come in. So our classes began to fill. We've had to hire many more teachers. You know, we've had to put some portables in. as temporarily. As we move forward, we have growth in certain areas where we're looking at, having to build schools in the near future. So, we're looking at all that and we're moving in the right direction.
So I'll just jump in really quick as far as the enrollment. What we have noticed is last year, we had a big dip in enrollment, mostly kindergartens. Parents, it's not compulsory to enroll your child until they're 6. So they decided to keep their kid at home, which is fine. And we had a lot of students who went 100% virtual. So those are the ones we're seeing coming back in. So it's kind of like a double kindergarten size this year for all of the students who have come in, which is great. And they're coming back from the virtual school environment, which is very difficult for kids. So.
I'm just going to say it's a good problem to have.
Right. That's a true statement. Just got to find those teachers.
That's exactly right.
The group is unusually quiet today, but I have another question for you. With regard to, there's been a lot of emphasis on students ready for the workforce, being ready to, come out of school and join the workforce. That the workforce, is, shrinking, and that we, really have to feed that pipeline. And so my question is about dual enrollment. How's dual enrollment doing, and what are the plans for dual enrollment? Do you see expansion? Thoughts?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't know if Mr. Cantis, I didn't know if he was still online. He is our executive director for secondary. Want to give him a chance, if he's on, to go ahead and chime in.
Sure, I can jump in. Thomas, as far as the dual enrollment goes, I think over the last 4 or 5 years, we tried to expand our opportunities and options for dual enrollment for students. And we've had some very specific opportunities to add a program like through Emory-Riddle at Sarasota High School, through their aeronautical program. We've also added a program through University of Florida. And we've been working with USF to expand opportunities there. We've always had a relationship with SCF, and we will continue that program. So interestingly enough, all of our schools have either a Cambridge program, an ACE Cambridge program, which is all college credit generating coursework. It also will lead to a Cambridge diploma, which has huge incentives as far as tuition goes, or they will have an IB program, International Baccalaureate program, also has the same incentives. So we're always looking to expand the numbers. Certainly, I think we have been able to increase opportunities, and we're always looking to expand those opportunities on our campus. Some of our students love getting on those college campuses, and we want them to do that, but sometimes it's 1 or 2 courses that they want to take on campus, and then they'll take the rest of their core curriculum, whether it be AP or IB or ACE or whatever. So yeah, we have a strong program. As far as the numbers go, I don't have them in front of me, Thomas. I certainly, if it's some interest, I could get those generated as far as a comparison from year to year. But I think we have real strong interest in dual enrollment, as well as our ACE and Cambridge programs. They're all doing quite well.
Steve, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything, or if you had anything. I know we've got a partnership there with Dr. DePillo and STC, and again, just the different programs that we're trying to do there, looking, at bringing some other initiatives into some of our high schools as well. So again, I didn't know if there was anything you want to add, or Thomas, we can get you some more information on CTE.
Hey, Chris, this is Ron.
Oh, hey, there he is.
Laying in the weeds. Hey,
thank you, bud.
I'm on the road here. So, but in terms of career dual enrollment at the Tech Center, we are holding around 575 high school students enrolled in career certificate programs at the post-secondary level. Those programs will lead to careers in our local career force, or articulate the programs at the college level, which the students can earn credits or have credits waived in regard to their coursework at STC. So we're about what we can do for those students. It's a balance. The career technical programs still require a GPA of a 2.0 to get into our programs. So that has not been a big barrier, but we're looking at how to address that barrier to get more kids into hands-on programs that lead to careers right out of high school. And then potentially they have the opportunity to go to college down the road once they get settled into a career.
Thank you. Any other questions from the group? I see one comment from Joy about please the district is back open to volunteers. A lot of bigs waiting to meet with their mentees, so excited about that. Any other comments or questions while we have them?
Thomas, this is Julie with University of Florida. I have a question. I was curious, I know that during the pandemic, some of the criteria required for substitute teachers shifted slightly. And I was wondering, will that remain the same? Will it change back to what it was pre-pandemic? And kind of how is the recruitment of substitute teachers going in general?
So this is Jody, and so I'll comment on
Great
that.
question.
Yeah, so it is a great question. So listen, we've struggled just like every other school district to really be able to attract enough substitutes. I don't know if it's unique to Sarasota County Schools, but we had a good number of teachers in the pool, substitutes in the pool. The problem is they just wouldn't come into work. And so that, you know, it's not like we couldn't attract them, it's just we couldn't get them to come to work, especially as kind of a community spread rates kind of got pretty high. I think people were scared. Some of our substitute teachers are retirees. And so I think they were scared about getting in this type of environment. So we did actually do a lot of different things to try and creatively address that. We offered some bonuses. We went to kind of what we call a long-term sub rate right off the bat. We typically go to a short-term sub rate than a long-term sub rate. So we maximize the ability to go to that right away. Did a lot of marketing, especially on Fridays and Mondays, to say, hey, come on in and work. And then we tried to use kind of school-based administrators and school staff to call on parents and say, hey, would you like to come in and be a substitute teacher? So we tried to do a lot of different things. Along with that, we addressed some of the requirements, right? And so we dropped the requirements down to be a substitute teacher, where now we're down in some cases to be high school diploma in some certain cases. So yeah. So I think that'll kind of stay in place. I think probably for the remainder of this year as we kind of see what COVID does. But certainly as we recuperate from COVID, we're able to get more substitute teachers back into the pool, willing to come back into our school sites, feel more comfortable with our safety protocols moving forward, then we certainly will look at those requirements and probably adjust them again back in a different direction. But we were really trying to pull out all the stops to get people in front of our classes to help with us with some of the coverage this year. And again, we do all of our own sub recruitment and sub placement in-house. And so we actually looked and reached out to some of the sub placement agencies, said, okay, what's your fill rates? Can we do something out of the box here? And so we tried to really pull out all the stops to make it happen. So hopefully community spread's been down the last couple of weeks. And so we got more subs coming in. Percentages are up in terms of our fill rate. So we're happy with that. But that's a long-winded answer to your question.
Well, and also just as we're getting closer to season for Florida, I mean, for our county in particular, I think a third of our sub pool is people who don't live here permanently. So as we get closer to season, hopefully we'll have much higher fill rates.
All right. Okay. Any other questions? Any other partner questions? Well, with that, I thank you all. Appreciate the insights and again, as community partners, we are here to support you and partner with you in getting some of those things done. So thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we're going to have our work group updates, our final two work group updates. For those who don't know, it is FAFSA season. October 1st has come. We are doing FAFSAs. And so with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Andrea LaChapelle to talk about FAFSA.
Hi, everyone. For those of you that I have met, nice to see you again. Others who are newer to the group, my name is Andrea LaChapelle. I'm the Director of Financial Aid at the State College of Florida. And I have had the pleasure of seeing Thomas far too many times in the last couple of weeks, though I do enjoy working with him. We're doing a completely new and different approach when bringing back some things prior from COVID happening. We are hosting webinars. For example, tomorrow night, I will be hosting a webinar in conjunction with the Education Foundation for parents and students to learn how to fill out a FAFSA. So I have an entire presentation to do that. We have various FAFSA workshops in person. As a matter of fact, last night we were at Southeast. We had volunteers from the State College of Florida, Kaiser, and a couple of other volunteers who came out to help us. We had an excellent turnout. We have 3 scheduled for the State College of Florida to host, 2 at the Bradenton campus and 1 down in the Venice campus. Suncoast Tech is also hosting some in the afternoon and in some evenings to help support the district's drive to increase FAFSA rates. So it's been pretty exciting. We've had a pretty decent turnout the last couple of weeks and just getting more and more. And we're looking to see what we can do to get a head start on planning dates for the spring to really do a push. Next week, we've got Sarasota High School on the books and various all throughout the community. So if anyone has any questions or would love to volunteer, we will take as many hands on deck as we can, but it's pretty exciting to be back and working with the students in person.
Yes, Northport was rocking last night. The kids were very excited, and just to watch the parents feel that sense of relief after talking to Andrea and the other financial aid directors, that they felt so much better getting their FAFSA done. So that was huge. And as Andrea said, we have a webinar tomorrow and then a lot more coming up. So thank you very, very much. Very exciting. All right. And our final work group update will be persistence, Julie and Taranay.
Hi, thank you. Thanks, Thomas. Hello, everyone. It's really good to see you. My name is Julie Breen, and I'm the K-12 coordinator for the University of Florida's Innovation Station, Sarasota County, and also co-chair the Persistence Work Group along with Taranay. Is Taranay on? Does he want to introduce himself real quick? I know he had another meeting, might be jumping on late.
I am on. Hi, everyone.
Yay,
Good
hi.
afternoon.
Hi.
My name is Taranay Watson-Otts, and I serve as an Assistant Regional Vice Chancellor of Student Success at the University of South Florida on the Sarasota Manatee campus.
Excellent. So Taranay and I together work with a fearless bunch in the persistence work group. And what we've really been focused on in the most recent months was launched after we were able to secure an award from the COVID-19 Relief Fund in order to start a student influencer social media campaign. We recognized in all of our brainstorming and discussions that if we were going to help students stay on their path in terms of college and post-secondary plans, that we really needed a necessary positive peer pressure from people that had a little bit of street credibility with them, and that's other students, namely college students that were in their first or second year of college or seniors getting ready to graduate. So that kind of snowballed into a campaign. We also realized that the student population that we were trying to reach don't often go on to websites unless they're led there by a link through a social media post. So that's how all of this kind of got started. And we worked with our partners and with Thomas to help identify some great student influencers who could start doing posts and who could help encourage students that were looking into and exploring their opportunities and possibilities, how to go through the step-by-step process and to be persistent. So it's a bit of a relaunch in some respects to the Just Keep Planning campaign that Ed Foundation and PLANit was doing before. And I think that Thomas has queued up, if we have time, some of those posts. Is that still a possibility, Thomas, to show everybody a couple of those?
Yes. If you click it one, Dave.
Yeah, so you guys are seeing it. Yeah, I just want to make sure we were good. All right. You want to add any narrative to what this is, Julie?
So this is an example of a post by one of our students that's been working with us. And the students were provided with a calendar that gave them the dates and some of the topics that we were most interested in kind of putting out there and putting in front of students, along with some of the, recommendations for hashtags and things like that. So this is an example of a post. This is a still post. I think we have some video options as well. Is there a video on the next page?
I'm a student influencer at PLANit Sarasota, and I'm here with a few more tips that could probably help you out for college. So let's get started. One thing that I highly recommend is keeping a planner, whether it's a actual in-person planner or online planner with Google Calendar. Does not matter. It's really important that you keep all your homework and assignments and due dates in these planners. You do not want to totally forget something and at the last minute have to rush to get it turned in on time. So it's really important that you keep a schedule, hobbies and clubs, whatever you really want in these types of planners. It's just a little suggestion. So hopefully that helps, and good luck for the rest of the semester. Thank you. Hi everyone,
Thank you.
I will just add that that was Bella. She's at the University of Florida now, and one of the key things is we wanted a day in the life, so we have both high school and college students. Really, we're talking about day in the life and a big reminder of all these important events and activities to hopefully be successful. This next one, I'm not sure if this is Anna, but I believe this is Anna, and this is from a high school senior at Sarasota High School. And this is a series, no video. This is
I don't have a video on this one.
This one's just a series of slides. So there's 4 slides which was very creative on her part about just getting the message out. So just showing you some of the differences in the presentation. Some did videos, some did these little infographic slides, and but loved the way they communicated it.
And I would say that one of the advantages of doing it this way is the exponential nature of getting the messaging out this way, because these are posts on social media accounts that's then reproduced on the other accounts through Ed Foundation and PLANit, and then shared. So that's the advantage, from just being a flyer or some other type of ad that's only seen once by a finite number of people. The downside would be the tracking, which I think is a little bit more of a challenge, because it's a lot harder than to track when it is shared and how many people actually view it. But we're working on that. And I think we'll be able to get some good ballpark ideas of who we're reaching.
Absolutely. Thank you, Julie. I'm reminded of my retail days when we were on, when everybody was doing e-commerce at the beginning. Amazon almost gets all the credit for it, but everybody was doing it. But there were a lot who gave up on it because they couldn't figure out how to make money early. But those who stuck with it figured it out. And so I'm really excited about this social media influencers. We're going to learn a lot from it. And actually, we have one of the social media influencers who's helping us. He's going to do a project with us in collecting all the data and doing some analytics for us. So really excited. So I believe we should have it ready for our next general meeting, that we'll have a presentation by that young man on those results. So that's exciting. All right. And also just want to remind everybody, please just keep the key for social media is sharing that out. So when you get those posts about FAFSA events, please share that, put that on post it on your site, share it with others, and just keep getting the message out. The goal is to go viral and to draw kids in, so students in. Well, with that said, we actually went through the agenda fairly quick. So I will give you the opportunity to capture the rest of your day, give you a whole 18 minutes back. So thank you, each and every one of you. Appreciate your time and your partnership, and we look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a good day, everybody.